So when you go to why was the witch there? When the witch was asked, the witch was there for 4 reasons. There were 4 express reasons that the witch kept saying. And then what happened was the spirit when the spirit said that she was the witch of Kate. Then they started calling the witch Kate.
Poor Kate. Yeah, I know. Poor Kate.
Yeah,
like, I felt so bad for her.
And,
scapegoated.
Right. And so at that point, the witch said, "I'm here for 4 reasons. 1, John's going to die," and he did. He did. That's and right. He was poisoned. Yep. That's how he died. There's theories that it wasn't the witch, that other people poisoned him, blah, 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 but he died from a slow poisoning type of effect.
Took like 3 years.
Yes.
And he had bad seizures.
Yes.
Like he was
sick
time.
for a long time. Yes. Yeah. And then Elizabeth was not going to marry Joshua. There was a point where I think when she was about 13, that John had died, the father had died, and for months they didn't see the witch. The witch didn't manifest itself, and they thought maybe gone now. Dad's dead, maybe gone.
For years they thought it was gone.
We're free and clear. Yeah. So Joshua and her started moving towards. He asked her to marry him, put the ring on her finger. Still nothing happened. Okay. They thought maybe we're free and clear. And there was a day when they were sitting on the front porch, or out just doing something, and the witch's voice came and said, and told Betsy, "Whatever you do, you cannot marry Joshua. If you marry Joshua, it will curse your family forever. There's something in this union that will be bad for generations and generations of your family." The way it seemed the witch was putting it was not that she would haunt them forever, but there was something about that union that wasn't right. Trying to protect her.
Is she a biologist? Does she know about like DNA? Like if you guys get together, you're gonna create a kid. Like
maybe
science?
Because
y'all are brother
and
sister.
By the way, everybody that came to visit the witch,
shit,
anybody that came to spend the night in the house, if you had a secret that you didn't want anyone to know, the witch knew it. And when you came there, it would go. The witch would usually give a warning: either get the fuck out of here, or I'm going to tell your shit. And if they didn't, she told their shit. And so
she's like 1,012 different things.
Yes,
she's a total.
And she was crazy. It was something else. And so that at that point, Joshua was like, "We're going to go through with it. I'm not scared." Da 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 da. And Betsy was like, "If we do this, this is going to be in our life forever."
So she listened.
She did. Mm-hmm. She did not. They did not marry.
They didn't marry. Yeah.
She ended up marrying her schoolmaster, who was 20 years older, her senior, who was always in love with her,
who casted the ghost,
and who was openly in love with her. I mean, so that wasn't even something that was looked down on when by the time she was 10 or 11 years old. He was like, he was flirtatious with her, which she didn't like.
How old was she at the time?
11, like 11,
Jesus
12. Yeah.
Christ.
And then Joshua married somebody else and had a family and da 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 da. So at that point, the witch said, "I've done what I meant to do. I'm leaving for 7 years."
Oh yeah,
left for
vacation.
7 years. Would go on vacations and would tell them they were going on. The witch went to the Bahamas. Told them they went to the Bahamas.
What?
Yes, went on vacations and said, "I'm going on vacation. I'm going to take you. Won't see me for a week. I'm going to be in the Bahamas." Yes.
Cannot with this witch.
This is real.
I didn't get this part.
Yes,
I saw the 7-year thing, but
yes. Would tell them, "I'm going on a vacation." And so the 7 years, you don't know where the witch went for 7 years.
Then the witch came back, supposedly.
But the witch said, "I'm going to be traveling around and be doing stuff." And
Carnival cruise.
When it came back 7 years later, it manifested itself to a couple of the brothers who were older now.
Yep. Less malevolent.
Much less. Talked to them, predicted the Great Depression, the Civil War, the Great Depression, and World War I. Talked about the country was going to go through some hard stuff and da 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 da. Then it left, and when it left, said, "I will be back now in 107
1935.
107 years." There's no documentation of the witch ever coming back at that point in time. No, like the 7-year one. After that 7-year, there's been no voice of the witch or anything like that.
Some of the kids think that she never left.
Well, there's been things that have happened around the cave area, especially, that are, that are haunting type stuff. But that kind of stuff.
Is the cave supposed to be a portal? Is
Dude,
that
yes,
what it's
a
supposed to be?
vortex.
What's weird, you say the cave, but supposedly the cave was never a part of the original haunting. It was all in the house.
It was the house, but after
But then the house got burned down, or it was gone.
She moved into the cave, and that's where she stayed in the cave. Apparently, that's what
But
it
the
said.
girls,
Go to the
girl,
cave.
remember the girls saw the woman
In the cave.
at the cave,
Right.
in the cave, and hung from the tree above the cave in the very beginning. There was a thought that was Kate's home. That was where Kate originally came from. That's where you get into, to me, I'll just end with this and y'all talk. But there was the part of the story which I just talked about, where this thing is manifesting itself like a superhuman, like an alien. My sister always said it's the alien that got kicked out of the spaceship.
Just fucking
It's the alien that got kicked out of the spaceship, was pissed off about it,
Watched all the shit
had to just
happen.
land there, decided to fuck with these people
All
just for
crazy.
fun,
Having a
right?
laugh.
Da. But it really seemed more something that was superhuman than a spirit by the way it could do things. It seemed that way, but that was just a short amount of time. Other than that documentation, all the other stuff is typical ghost stuff that you've
Right.
heard
Yeah.
other places.
Yep.
There's a whole thing in here about different levels of the spirit, and it was trying to get to another level by doing these things to be able to leave this earth and all this. But that's all. But all of that stuff has been part of ghost lore. But this stuff, the talking, so much proven that it was a real thing to so many people, so open about it.
Right.
The whole thing based on Matt goes, I don't even believe that shit. I'm going to go over there and see. Well,
And then leaves.
Yeah, he leaves.
Smack
going,
me up and
"Fuck."
maybe feel me up, bro.
Exactly right. Kind of the thing.
Respect.